Welcome back to Base is Beautiful. My name is MD, and today we are celebrating Star Wars Day. Yes, I know it's a little bit late. I was traveling for work. I wasn't able to put out a video exactly on May the 4th, but still, I've got Star Wars cards. I collect non-sports cards. I wanted to have a little fun with this, so let's get going. But first, let's set the mood. So let me just snap my fingers. And there we go. All right, we've got some music from the video game Dark Forces playing. I played the heck out of that game as a kid on my computer. I've got some old toys that I enjoyed when I was a kid. We've got a dewback here, a Gamorrean guard from Jabba's palace, and the bounty hunter Bosk. That's probably my son's favorite toy in his collection. Of course, these have been passed on to my son for him to enjoy. But anyway, Star Wars, of course, awesome movie, awesome franchise, so much imagination. It got me connected with movies and thinking about fantasy stories and the kinds of things that you could do with movies, the kinds of stories you could tell, the world building that can happen. And so it's a franchise that I absolutely loved as a kid. Still enjoy watching the movies today, even though I'm not as much of a fan of some of the newer series and things that they've done, but still there's a lot of great stuff that's out there, and Andor is an awesome series in terms of the newer stuff. That's one that I really enjoy. Now, I don't have a ton of Star Wars cards. I do want to get one for all the three original films. Of course, Star Wars itself came out in 1977. That's the year my parents got married. Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980, 3 years later. I don't have a major event that connects with that. But then 1983 is when Return of the Jedi comes out, and that's when I was born. So I've always marked my life a little bit by the dates of release of Star Wars. And as it turns out, when Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, came out in 2002, that's the year that I got married. So kind of continuing on the tradition there. But one card that I have is from the 1983. This is the sticker of Max Rebo. Of course, he's in the band there playing in Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. Always kind of a funny looking character to exist in Star Wars. Seems, I don't know, somewhat out of place just with the blue kind of elephant looking guy. But very iconic look, easy to recognize. He doesn't say anything. He just plays some kind of weird piano thing in the Sice Noodles band. But I always liked him as a kid, so I wanted to pick up one of the sticker cards. Now this one, it was something I recently showed off. This is from the Mandalorian series. Now I got this because Werner Herzog, the actor in this playing the client on that episode, is actually a very noteworthy art house film director from Germany. And I love his movies and really appreciate him as a filmmaker. And so I wanted his autograph on a card. It just so happened that the only way that could ever happen is because he just so happened to be in a Star Wars thing. And so I've got that. Now, they're releasing a lot of new Star Wars cards, and I don't really have any of them. This is the only newer Star Wars card I have. I'll probably end up picking up some of them because, I'll see a character or something that I like. I like that they're doing autographs on some of these. So I may end up picking up a couple more of those just for kind of smaller characters or people that I personally appreciate but may not be as sought after as like James Earl Jones's autograph, doing the voice of Darth Vader or Mark Hamill or something like that. But we'll see what ends up happening with that. For the card, this one to me is kind of representative of Return of the Jedi. You just have this awesome stand down. Believe in the film this happens in the middle of the lightsaber battle between Luke and Darth Vader there in the Emperor's chambers. It is not, I don't think this is the setup at the beginning. I think this is in the middle of the fight after they've gone on, and they do some stuff kind of underneath the thing and fight each other with lightsabers. And that just felt like an iconic looking shot that represents Return of the Jedi, kind of this standoff battle between Luke and Darth Vader. Because as with all of the Star Wars cards I want to find representative scenes, things that connect me to that movie in a particular way. Of course, it's hard to do that with movies that I love and have watched countless times. I mean, hundreds of times, very likely, over the course of my life. And, but that one, found that one on ComC. It was actually a ComC auction, ended up getting it very affordably. And you have to watch those ComC auctions. I mean, there's some decent stuff that comes through. And then the last card, which is a recent pickup for me, but this is a card that doesn't really need any introduction. You'll know immediately why I have it in my collection here. And it's because it's a card that features Sir Alec Guinness, but more importantly for me, it features George Lucas. Of course, he doesn't really need a lot of introduction. Everybody knows his name as the mastermind behind Star Wars, the director of Star Wars: A New Hope. Nicely well-centered card there from the original 77 Star Wars release. Now, there's a few different cards from this set that has George Lucas on it. One has him with Mark Hamill, the actor playing Luke, but Lucas is in profile. I didn't want him in profile. And then there's another one of him working with Greedo. Of course, we know controversially when George Lucas did the special editions, he ended up messing up that scene with Greedo and making Greedo shoot first before Han Solo.
Yeah, Oscar.
Bet you have.
Which is not the way that it originally happened, and it looks awkward in the way that they did it, and I'm not a fan of that, so I did not want George Lucas with Greedo in the same shot, so no go on that card. But that one, you get a nice full face shot of George Lucas, him sitting down on the set. Obviously, this is part of the making of it, so they're reviewing something or planning out the next shot or whatever they're doing there. So this is part of my ongoing director series that I'm, of course, Werner Herzog is part of that too, even though he didn't direct anything in Star Wars, but you do what you can with a German art house film director. So anyway, it's just 4 cards and some toys, but there you go. Star Wars is fun. It's kind of weird that May the 4th is kind of an unofficial holiday. Sounds like someone with a lisp saying, May the Force be with you, but whatever. It is what it is. People enjoy Star Wars. It's amazing that the franchise has caught on the way that it has. But I enjoy these cards, and I will continue collecting some Star Wars cards. And I'd love to hear some of your favorite Star Wars cards or Star Wars characters that you've enjoyed over the years from those movies and the various spin-off works that are out there, because it's a pretty expansive universe now, including books and TV series and cartoons and movie rides at theme park rides and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, it's pretty wild, but Star Wars has been an important part of my life. I wanted to make sure that I included a little feature of that here on the channel. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I hope you have a wonderful time reviewing some Star Wars movies if you ended up doing that, and we'll see you next time.